Peace and blessings, DJ Plus Jones. It's time for another mental health moment. And the topic this week is called the real flex. This is the real flex of music, and almost nobody trains it. We talk about content strategy. We talk about release schedules. We talk about staying consistent. But most artists misunderstand what that word actually means. They think, they think consistency is a calendar. They think it means posting 3 times minimum a week, right? But there is one skill, one specific internal mechanism that keeps careers alive when the numbers drop. And it has nothing to do with your content calendar. And if you don't build this skill, every single dip in your analytics will turn into an emotional spiral that costs you weeks of productivity. Stay with me, because we're about to define the only metric that separates the pros from the people who just fade away. So let's talk about first the definition. Let's go back to that conversation with the producer in LA, where he dropped the mask on what the industry is actually looking for. He said he revealed the real industry filter: consistency under emotional pressure. Not talent, not looks, not luck. Consistency under emotional pressure. Think about that definition. Anyone can be consistent when things are going well, right? When that remix hits, when the DMs are full, when the show is sold out, it's easy to go to the studio. It's easy to post because you're riding that dopamine wave. But that's not consistency. That is momentum. Consistency is, can you show up on Tuesday when the track you dropped on Friday flopped? Can you film the content when you feel stupid doing it? Can you finish the mix when you just saw your peer get signed and you feel like you've been left behind? That is emotional pressure. And that is the filter. Let's talk about the collapse, the comparison, and the terror. The clip goes on to list exactly what causes artists to break. He says it's the ability to keep creating without collapsing into comparison, self-doubt, or the terror of being too late. So let's unpack that word, collapsing. I see this with artists that I coach every single day. It's not that they stop wanting it. It's that the weight of the emotion collapses the structure of their work. You see somebody else win, and suddenly your work feels small. That's comparison. And we know comparison is the number one killer of all joy, right? You release a track and it doesn't move, and you think, maybe I don't have it. That's self-doubt. You see a 19-year-old blow up, and you look at your own age and then you freeze. That's the terror of being too late. When you collapse, you stop executing. You miss a day, then a week, then a month, and you tell yourself, I'm just taking a little break. No, you didn't take a break. You broke under the pressure. So let's talk about the shift, losing self-trust. There's a line in that video that, man, sometimes it haunts me. Most artists don't lose their dream, they lose their self-trust. This is what happens when you lack artist immunity. Every time you let an emotional dip stop your workflow, you are teaching your brain that you cannot be trusted. You are teaching yourself that your mood is the boss and that your art is the employee. If the boss is in a bad mood, the employee doesn't work. Developing consistency under emotional pressure means firing that boss. It means separating your feelings from your functions. You can feel sad and still hit the record. You can feel jealous and still export the file. You can feel invisible and still stick to the plan. That is how you rebuild self-trust. You show your nervous system that you are safe, and it's safe to keep moving even when the industry feels dangerous. So let's next talk about the application and how to train it. So how do we train this? Well, how do we build consistency under pressure? Well, first you have to stop waiting to feel like it. When the pressure hits, when the numbers are down and you feel that terror rising, don't try to hype yourself up. Don't try to force positive vibes. Just do the work scared. Do the work annoyed. Do the work invisible. The win isn't that the track blew up. The win is that you felt the pressure to quit and you worked anyway. Every time you do that, you are callousing your mind against the industry. You are becoming immune. So if you feel like every minor setback derails your whole week, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you haven't identified your pressure points. You need to know exactly what triggers your collapse so you can brace for it. Download my free artist burnout checklist. It's going to help you find the exact pressure points that are breaking your consistency right now. Get the checklist, stop the spiral, and keep creating. I'll see you in week 4. Peace.